He's dead. Who?
Masturbatory pronoun gaming isn't my thing, but please yourself.
His brains are on the floor.
Expecting me to remember whose brains were on which floor and for why. It's been 2 years. It might have taken them 5 years to get here, but the Joel survivors have quickly been repaid with this convenient ski lodge with stunning views of Vengeance City.
Now that we know what we're dealing with, we can come up with a plan. Right?
Definitely.
A plan for 5 slightly frozen people to attack an entire city? Is Abby French for naivete?
Here are the problems. They've got 4 main gates, no other ins or outs, guard towers flanking each exit, mounted patrols, all heavily armed, overlapping routes.
I see Owen will be playing the role of the person who lists the impossible elements of the impossible mission to emphasize impossibility.
We still don't know where Joel is in there.
How about telling us how you know Joel is in there at all? Something a little more to grab onto than what I assume is some bullshit that happened off screen?
I do have the beginnings of an idea for a plan. Maybe.
The DCU.
You don't actually have a plan, do you?
No, I do. The plan is to convince her to go back.
A plan you've had 5 f***ing years to work on, by the way, and probably should have executed before entering the freezing your nipples off in the tundra phase.
Hey, wow, you look like
Providing motive to the hungover person who already has the means and opportunity to kick your ass into the next pandemic.
I want you to fulfill your obligation to the community of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. 8 a.m. patrol.
Ellie still being assigned to patrols after her shenanigans yesterday is setting all the wrong examples, regardless of how weird it would be if she was sleeping in while Joel was being clubbed to death. Also, yes, I know Joel dies because of the video game. Unlike Game of Thrones, Red Wedding, where there was no material that I could have been spoiled with.
I'm still me, he's still Joel, and nothing's ever gonna change that.
This is the closest thing to a kind word Ellie says about Joel in their final 2 episodes together. I know this is well within character, and the state of their relationship at his demise will be epic fuel for Ellie, but what about my feelings, The Last of Us? What about my needs to see my people happy?
30 live ones broke through from underneath the corpses. They're using their own dead like insulation.
Is this something fungi actually do? If not, I'm calling bullshit on this. Now that chasing people and eating them alive is fine, but adapting to cold weather is where I draw the line.
Yes. Certainty masquerading as knowledge.
The internet.
My shit with Joel is complicated.
Not really. You suspect he's lying to you about something. He knows he's lying to you about something. Neither of you will talk about it. Or in other words,
family.
Prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
Title of my sex tape?
Safeties, please. Somebody shot themselves in the leg last week. All right, don't be Earl.
Oh, Earl. That crazy guy managed to waste ammunition, medical supplies, and manpower with one incompetent action. What an adorable mess. Super glad we can laugh about his incompetence. If this was a serious situation like an apocalypse, this would not be funny at all.
This is bullshit, right? It's just a drill. Yep, it's a drill.
Unless we're attacked, and then it's not.
Correct.
This is just a meaningless exchange of words. Unless it means something, then it's not.
Made you 2 some sandwiches if you're going out there. They're steak.
Offering up a steak sandwich without first confirming if Earl survived his mishap.
Are we worrying about that?
Nah, it'll just be up in the mountains.
Chekhov's Blizzard. And so begins a series of coincidences so inexplicable that I'm left with no choice but to pregame them with 3 sins ahead of time. The speed at which this just up in the mountains storm hits the settlement is the reason why Jesse got patrol duty instead of becoming the town meteorologist.
How'd you know about this place?
Eugene, one day he showed it to me. Said he found it a year earlier when he was on a solo patrol. Swore me to secrecy.
Hiding a well-equipped safe house just because you don't want your wife finding your grow-op is selfish and dumb. I'm starting to think the mysterious reason Joel killed Eugene was because Eugene was a selfish dick.
Eugene was a firefly?
Yep.
At this point, who the hell hasn't been a firefly? Asking for a Joel who is apparently addicted to shooting them. Sure is lucky for Abby that the blizzard has miraculously continued to avoid the mountain she's on so that she can catch up with Joel and Dina. I can only assume that the blizzard is also a firefly, and Joel shot an unarmed snowman it was fond of. Looks like Abby's rifle is operating on a higher plane of consciousness, since it clearly chose to get off the ride before any of the rolling even began. Risking a look over your shoulder at the zombie hoarding as if there's a chance that after 20 years of zombie hoarding, they've grown tired of zombie hoarding. How exactly does one get jump scared by a huge fucking zombie horde? So fucking rules. The action looks great because these are actual people with prosthetics and makeup. The setting looks great because they filmed this on a real fucking mountain during an actual blizzard. Take note, Disney. This is what great television looks like when you actually film things in real life instead of putting everything in an egg studio. Except for Andor. Andor gets a pass.
Give me your hand!
Holy convenient Joel Ex Machina. Well, not convenient for Joel, of course. Now she realizes she's unarmed. Not when she was being chased by a horde of zombies or crawling/fighting for her life, but as soon as she finds Joel.
Joel, answer the goddamn radio!
Because everyone knows that yelling and cursing can just cut through that radio interference. They still haven't fixed that pipe. If it waited this long, it can certainly wait until after the blizzard. Also, didn't Joel tell them to burn out the weeds? Why is he going at it with a hoe? Why did he pick the least efficient way to deal with this problem, and why are these people enabling him?
You gotta split up and come at it from both sides.
Because splitting up is always a smart idea, and definitely not something that has become a trope in every form of media.
I'll take northeast. How much time do you think we have?
Looking at my watch here, I figure you have just enough time to stumble onto something absolutely horrific.
No, we gotta go faster!
I know, I'm trying.
Yeah, Joel, just push your horse's accelerator down harder. Maybe shift the horse into a higher gear. How are all these infected tracking Joel and Dina in a blizzard? Most of them are blind, right? And they're all Olympic sprinters? Is this one of those absolutely silent blizzards that allows the clopping of hooves on snow to be heard perfectly? Also, I'm assuming that they all suddenly turned because of that disturbance in the pipe, but why would one tap redirect the entire horde from the meal that's right in front of them? How do they know that one hoe will result in an all-you-can-eat buffet?
They're coming!
Dinosaur infected!
Infected! 5 minutes out!
So the only purpose of the clanging bell is to signal one guy on the wall to run and find Tommy and Maria so he can play the pronoun game about what the threat is? How did these people survive this long?
Basements and roofs! Basements and roofs!
Get off the street!
I'm still not sure why so many people are in the streets in the middle of a blizzard. Am I terrible for thinking there are too many adults taking shelter in the basements and that they should be out fighting instead? Can you conscientiously object to fighting a mushroom?
Jackson hold!
See, Game of Thrones? This is what the battle for Winterfell should have looked like. Even in a fucking blizzard, I can still see everything happening. And yes, I'm sorry that another good show is catching strays from Game of Thrones Season 8. Won't be the last time. I think that the potential flaw in this burning oil plan might be that your city walls are made of wood. Man, I love a good explosion, and these explosions are nice and meaty. But wouldn't the barrels have just burned instead of exploded? I mean, they shot holes in them, so there shouldn't be enough pressure to... Wait, what's that? Shut up and enjoy the fireballs? Okay, fine.
We won't make it!
If I don't make it, I don't make it.
We're almost there! The lodge is just up ahead. It's like a minute. We've got blankets, ammo. My friends can help you get back.
Joel decides to forego every character trait that makes Joel Joel by not being a stubborn mule, trusting this total stranger, and not blindly riding in to save the day. It's almost like he was reprogrammed to facilitate a predetermined ending. Shell casings, shell casings, shell casings. Excitement?
They're gonna breach! They're gonna breach! They're breaking through! Get ready!
Why do all of this city's defenses seem to rely on one person at a time running frantically and screaming information and orders? You've got walkie-talkies, people. Use them. So the heavy weapons Tommy talked about being deployed on the ground and the Earl shot himself in the leg briefing earlier consist entirely of 4 guys with flamethrowers and 10 guys in 2 pickup trucks with the same guns that aren't working on the wall in the middle of Main Street? How have these people survived so long? Show wants me to believe that this level's mini-boss zeroes in on Maria because her bullets are extra painful, and not because it knows she's one of the people we're supposed to care about.
Hey! Right here! Come here! Come here!
How does the giant shroom know Tommy is talking to it? And why are all the other infected ignoring Tommy when he's their most obvious target? Also, it's cool that Tommy is doing this, but less cool when you notice all the infected running around him and ignoring him for no reason. Running into a dead end in your own town. If you only have 4 flamethrowers and you have to empty an entire flamethrower just to kill one of these mega infected, maybe it's time to reassess your last resort city defense strategy. I might have felt something about this sudden and perfectly timed death if Tommy didn't have a holstered gun that he was just choosing not to use so he could accept his new life as a fungi. There is an absolutely 0% chance that in all this chaos, the people defending the city aren't killing as many of their fellow citizens as they are the infected. Why wasn't there a designated dog person anyway? Why is Maria doing this? I don't think the bellman is needed anymore. Can't he do it? Also, if the dogs are this good at fighting the infected, why did you keep them in their cages until now? Maybe you should update the city defense plan. Basements and rooftops and dogs.
If you don't do it, I'm gonna smash her in the fucking head.
With how delicate of a science putting someone under with medication is, realistically, she may be better if you smashed her in the fucking head instead.
Haven't you heard? There are no more fireflies.
I don't care. I'm still free. You can't take the sky from me.
You actually are. Pretty handsome.
I'd love to know how Abby got this description. Did one of the nurses call Joel handsome after watching him kill the doctor point blank? Seems like a weird descriptor to use when relaying info to Abby about her father's killer.
18 soldiers and 1 doctor. You remember that one? An unarmed doctor you shot in the head.
Technically he was holding a scalpel. Also, he was a doctor who was about to cut the brain out of a perfectly healthy girl, so there is that.
I was 19.
Thinking your age has any bearing on when your parents die in an apocalypse.
There are just some things everyone agrees are just f***ing wrong.
Using just twice in the same sentence and allowing a lack of creativity to trample on your big moment. You've had 5 years to write this, Abby. Somebody took the time to clear all the furniture out of this lodge, but left a bag of golf clubs? And I'm supposed to believe this takes place in America?
Oh, it's funny. I have waited
Just shut the f up and do it already.
Joel would be excellent at monologue sins. If Abby's going to do what I know she's going to do and wants to drag it out, she should pick a different club. Everybody knows a 9-iron is for your short game.
You stupid old man. You don't get to rush this.
Going to take this opportunity to give Caitlin Deaver a sin-off before her character does something that makes me feel guilty about giving her a sin-off. If your end goal is to kill a guy, but you beat him with a golf club first, does that qualify as foreplay? Having the drop on all your opponents and fumbling it by rushing into the room.
Joel, get up.
Making physical demands of your extremely injured apocalypse dad. Wasn't there just a blizzard that would kill you if you stayed out in it for more than 20 minutes? But now Abby and her crew are just immune to the cold? Or did the storm die when Joel did? Are they shielded by the flames of vengeance? Wait, shouldn't there be 3 horses? Joel's, Ellie's, and Dina's? I get that Joel, well, he's fine where he is, but why leave one of the horses behind? Also, we can't play it, but we're definitely ending on an Ashley Johnson sings a beautifully delicate cover of a song reminding me that we don't deserve Ashley Johnson. Cliche.
Oh no, he died.
I do have the beginnings of an idea for a plan. Maybe.
That is not a plan.
That day, for no particular reason, I decided to go for a little run.
What do we do?
We leave.
Back to Jackson?
Your tauntaun will freeze before you reach the first marker. Then I'll see you in hell. Don't shoot! Let him burn!
Release the hounds.
You stupid old man.
When 900 years old you reach, look as good you will not.